Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a fun review, tutorial, and swatch of the Pure My Little Pony palette that just dropped last week, I think. So this palette right here retails for $29 and it is sold on PureCosmetics.com, and wherever Pure Cosmetics is sold, I happen to get it from work, which is at Kohl's. So let's jump right into the swatches. So here are the first 4 shades swatched on my arm for you. From left to right we have Kindness, Fluttershy, Generosity, and Rarity. Next in the second row we have Applejack, Honesty, Laughter, and Pinkie Pie. In the third row we have Twilight Sparkle, Magic, Rainbow Dash, and Loyalty. Lastly we have Tempest Shadow, Songbird Serenade, Storm King, and Princess Skystar. So I know some people are comparing this palette to the Trolls palette, which they previously came out with when the Trolls movie dropped. The Trolls palette compared to this one, there are some similarities, but there are definitely differences. This one definitely has more of the vibrant, fun rainbow colors, whereas this one is more toned down. And I feel like they're more, obviously there are a lot of more browns in here and they're more neutral, but Princess Poppy's color and Pinkie Pie's color are definitely 2 different shades of pink. And I will swatch them out for you. So Princess Poppy from the Trolls palette is right here on the bottom, whereas Pinkie Pie is right here on the top. Now Pinkie Pie is a little bit more of a neon pink, whereas Princess Poppy is more toned down, still vibrant, but the Pinkie Pie from the My Little Pony palette is definitely more bright. I can already tell by swatching these colors that the My Little Pony palette is definitely not as creamy as Trolls palette is. Okay, so another comparison. On the bottom I have Bergentown from the Trolls palette, and on the top I have Songbird Serenade from the My Little Pony palette. Bergentown is definitely darker than Songbird Serenade, and as I mentioned before, the Trolls palette is very creamy and it has a creamier texture to it. This one I feel is a little bit more sandy, not very dusty, but just like that chalky texture. So on the bottom of my hand I have Karma from the Trolls palette, and on the top I have Applejack from the Pure palette. Now these two are pretty similar, however this one I feel like has a little bit more pigment packed into it. It's not as shimmery as Applejack is. So up next for comparison is the shade Snack Pack from the Trolls palette and the shade Laughter from the My Little Pony palette. Now seeing them side by side in the palettes, they do look pretty similar. However, this one is a little bit more lighter and I feel like has a bit more white undertone, whereas this one has a little bit more of a champagne pinky undertone to it. Nonetheless, they're both still pretty colors. So yes, these 2 palettes are similar. However, this one has more muted colors to it and the texture is way different from this palette. This palette is creamier when you touch it and apply it, and this palette is more of a chalky duster, like dusty palette. It's really not as creamy as this one is. This one is very fun if you're going for a fun look and or a pop of color. This one is also good for if you're doing a neutral look and also if you do want a pop of color. This one is good too because it includes all these shades in here, so if you want to do a natural or a neutral looking eye, you definitely can, and if you want to, you can add a pop of color in there just to spice it up. So starting off today, I'm going to be going in with the shade Generosity, and I'm going to be popping it right into my crease as my transition shade. Next, I'm going to take the shade Pinkie Pie and start adding my color into my outer crease. I'm actually going to do a halo eye today, so I'm going to take this and add it to my outer corner and my inner corner. And what I'm doing right now is kind of going up and down in a back and forth motion, if that makes any sense at all. And I kind of just want to build up that color so that you can really see it. And I'm obsessed with the pink shade from the Trolls palette, so I mean, I'm pretty obsessed with this already. And this is definitely different from the shade in the Trolls palette. I can already tell. I mean, a lot of people said there's similarities between it, but I knew that this one would be a little bit different. Going to go back in with Pinkie Pie and start adding that to my inner crease, my inner corner. So for my lid color today, I'm going to go in with the shade Princess Sky Star and use a small packing brush and lightly pack it onto my lid. Now, since this is a shimmer shade, I'm going to first use it dry just to get a first impressions of it, and then I'm going to spray it with my setting spray to see how it foils. It's a really pretty shade. It's nice and iridescent on the eye when you're using it dry, but I feel like once you wet it, you'll definitely get that mint color and it'll definitely bring more pigment out. So that's what it looks like dry. And now I'm going to go back in. I'm going to pick some up onto my brush and I'm going to set it with my setting spray. That definitely adds more pigment to it. I feel like I'm using a lot of product just to get this amount of color payoff, but it might be my brush as well, since it's not the best brush in the entire world. Now what I'm doing now is I'm going back in with the shade Pinkie Pie and I'm going to really brighten up my outer crease. For my lower lash line, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, Twilight Sparkle, and I'm going to start from my inner and drag it out. And I'm really focusing on keeping this in my inner corner. I don't want to drag it too far out. Kind of like a third of the way. Nothing too crazy. My lower lash line towards the outer corner today, I'm going to go in with the shade Fluttershy. And for the middle, I'm going to go in with the shade Rainbow Dash, just to give it a little pop of color. And I really have fun doing this with my lower lash line. I really like adding a fun color right in the middle. And with the blue surrounded by the pink, so it kind of gives it that cotton candy effect, which is one of my favorite looks that I've done. If you don't follow me on Instagram, be sure to follow me. I will link all my socials down below and you can go ahead and look at that picture for yourself. I really enjoyed doing that look. I enjoy using pinks on my eyes. Okay, so now that my eye look is done, it's time for the lips. So I'm going to go in with the shade Melancholia from Kat Von D Beauty. Overall thoughts on the Pure My Little Pony palette. I really do enjoy this palette. I like Pure Cosmetics and I enjoy their eyeshadows, so it's no surprise that I do enjoy this palette. I love doing fun looks with my eyes. I enjoy all the colors that are in here and I can't wait to use more of them to create more fun and vibrant looks for you guys. If you want to see a more toned down neutral look using this palette, just leave a comment right below and I will be sure to make a video on it for you. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun little tutorial using the Pure My Little Pony palette. If you did, be sure to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for videos every single week. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!